Okay, it is 9:43. I just got out of one trade because it was going to look like, at least it was looking like it didn't have to. It looked like it was going to break under this trend line right here. I had two trades with ILUS so far, and it doesn't seem that bad. I actually had a first green day, which was nice, and it also has like a lot more volume than it has for most of the range here, so it shows that maybe it can try to uptrend for more than just one day. And then the second day is a little red, but I was trading it for a dip and rep. The idea was is that we had this first day, the second day has a panic, and then it tries to uptrend, regain itself, and then maybe best case scenario it tries to go green on the day and it can continue to run and do a second day. I had my first trade at 932. I bought 3,000 shares at 1031. So 932 was right here. This candle actually 1031. I was in right here. Why did I get in it? Well, it looked like it was doing that panic. It was dropping from the 11s to the 10s. There was a nice amount of people supporting the 10 cent level. So I did get in and I was just going to get out if it was going to break below 10. But ideally, it just does that dip and rip setup that I was talking about. And I was in it again right here at this 1031 level at 932. I did sell in pieces. I sold 1,000 shares at 1049. That was the next minute. 1049. I sold 1,000 shares here, and then I try to hold on to this one to see how it will develop. I did sell another 1,000 shares at 934 at 1004. It did look like it was starting to do some topping price action, not really being able to get above the VWAP level. And then I sold my last piece also at 10.4, and that was at 935. So 935 was right here when I sold my last piece, and it did drop a little more, but it never broke below the 10 cent level. And then when it kind of held this range, it looks like a higher low off of this level. So again, we had this drop right here for screen day the previous day, and then it holds the 10 cent level, a nice round number. I got in for the bounce. It wasn't able to really break much past VWAP, although it did have a wick here. Downtrended, I sold before it got to the bottom here at this 10.2 level, made a higher low off of here, and now my idea was to get in again once it was showing that it was actually trying to hold itself together and, not just completely head for 10 cents and break under it. In fact, this might even be another higher low developing right here, and it can maybe officially try to break past the VWAP level, which is 10.6 right now, and not just break past it, but stay above it. I did buy again 3,000 shares at 1049, and that was at 939. So right here at 1049, seeing that price action that it was maybe being a higher low, and we were also breaking like this little mini resistance level at this 10.5 level. And I did sell this one a little more aggressively at 10.65. 2 minutes later at 9.41, I did sell here at 10.65. That was my sell. And then we saw this price action again, this topping price action. So I got out of it at 9.43. That was at 10.75. I got out right here at 9.43 before it broke under the trend line, because it really looked like it was going to, and it did. From the beginning of this video, I think I was recording right when it was starting to break under the line. It did downtrend to 10.3. Again, this could be another higher low, and it can continue the uptrend. And at this point, I'll probably, I mean, it could still be a setup, but I just don't want to, I feel like every bounce is going to be, nice and all, but the more bounces, I think the less likely that the next one's going to work, or at least work as well. But it could be a nice reversal. It can try to break above 10.8, and that would be, in theory, another setup, especially if we have a lot of support at the bid. Yeah, so I'll be looking for this one for more setups. Some of you might be watching this and saying, why don't you just buy and hold? Um, I'm a day trader. I'm not a swing trader. I don't hold for multiple days in a row. That's just the way I trade. It's like telling your plumber to build a shed in the back. Like, that's not really his thing. I will make an update later, and I'll be watching to see if we can try to break 10.8. And yeah, this is, I mean, a lot better than some of the other ones that just, like shoot up one day, then the next day just sells all the way near the very bottom. This is a lot better, and I will be looking for more setups. Okay, it is 10:09. I'm looking at something that appears to be a symmetrical triangle. Kind of nerve-wracking because I might consider an entry here, then it just trades at the bottom of the range, and then I don't have the best price, or maybe this thing will break under this symmetrical triangle, and then it'll be like a panic, and it could try to break under 10 cents. I'll be watching it. I'm gonna be a little upset if I miss out on this setup, but at the same time, it is a bit speculative. I'll make an update later, but this looks like a potential setup. Okay, it is 11:44. I wanted to wait some time before I did the next one, and yeah, I did do the trade with ILUS, the one that was looking like a symmetrical triangle. It broke past the top part, which was ideal because I wasn't interested in it going under it because that wouldn't be a setup to go long. And it did kind of hang out a little bit. I did buy 3,500 shares at 10.16, so that was right around here at 10.16, and I was in at it looks like, yeah, 10.57, so maybe just a little tick higher right here at 10.16 is when I got in, and it did option, but this one just seemed a bit iffy, just not as strong as the first two I traded. It doesn't mean that it wasn't going to option because it clearly did. It got to the 11s, which was nice. Just a little bit on my end. I probably could have held this one better, but I don't like how, this one didn't really follow a trend line as nicely as previously. I mean, you would draw a trend line here from the first corner of the uptrending candle, and it broke past it immediately. So it wasn't really looking the best, but it did uptrend and it got to the 11s, which was nice. I did sell just 500 shares at 10.7 at 10.19, which was after I had this little blip right here. The next minute I sold some at 10.7, and then I sold the rest at 10.77. That was right at this 10.20 time period. So I sold everything else here. It was just struggling to get above the 10.79 and the 10.80 level, but when it finally did it, as it did do it here, it got to the 11. So that was pretty profitable there. I could have been even better if I was more patient. And yeah, there hasn't been anything else that I've been interested in. That's pretty much it for right now. Unless I happen to trade something, I likely won't make a recap until the market is closed. All right, it is 9:49 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be up on a day $16.05. That was trading ILUS three times. And the first few trades was this number one, the dip and rip setup, which was right here. And then the second trade was a higher low. And then I had that final third trade, which was at the end of the morning, closer to 11 a.m. Right around right here when it was looking like it was going to be a symmetrical triangle. I could have been better with this one. I could have sold better, and it just threw me off a little bit because there was that resistance level of this 10.8 price point. So I did sell rather quickly when we had that little blip and it was just chilling right here. But if I were to have drawn a trend line, maybe nothing like really aggressive like these two first ones that I used, as it was later in the day and it's not as volatile. I could have had maybe like a lazy trend line, perhaps something like this one right here, and that would have allowed me to have held better and maybe have sold a bit higher and been more profitable with that in mind. I think my best sell for that last trade was, yeah, 10.77, and we can see for a long time it was trading around here, which was just around that same level. So I could have sold this last setup a bit better, and there were no missed setups or anything like that, except for this one right here. It did offer a dip under VWAP, and it did turn around eventually, maybe like an inverse head and shoulders, a shoulder head, and then maybe a shoulder. Not the best setup, but definitely better than what I've been looking at recently. ALNAQ is just something I didn't want to trade, although I guess you can say this was a reversal setup. This just doesn't have like a nice daily chart to really be something to consider, at least for me to consider for something clean. This one just downtraded, no volume, and TGGI could be a potential setup if it tries to break above the 18 level and then the tippy top of maybe 18.5 or 18.9, and it can do like another leg up. That will be something interesting. And GEGI is trying to turn around, but I just don't like the stock. The way it trades in general is kind of ugly, but I mean, it is trying to bounce, which is pretty cool. Maybe it can try to do like a second day or a third day trying to, regain itself, and that could offer a few setups. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for today. Two trades with ILUS, and then the third one that I could have traded better and a bit more profitable with.